What's going on?
We live on live, son. I think Richard's got a delay.
I do.
What's up, man? What have you been working on?
Oh man, I'm just trying to get started, trying to figure out this real estate thing. I'm trying to see if I can figure out how to wholesale a deal or two.
How long you been in real estate?
I've started as far as kind of moving towards the professional side. Not that long, and probably since April this year or last year. Prior to that, I did have some family properties that I inherited a handful of years ago, so I've had a couple of blessings with that. And then, other than that, most of my history is in automotive.
Dude, I've been bragging about you ever since the Corpus Mastermind when you sat there and locked up like 12 appointments. And
Yeah.
and you remember, because I asked you, I was like, how much sales training have you had? How many books have you read? Like, how does this look? Where does this go? You know what I mean? So anyways, I was thoroughly impressed with that. I've been telling my team about it. I've been telling my friends about it. I've been telling
Thank you.
all the people at the next masterminds. I've been telling them about it. It's slick and it's fun to watch. And I told you should start your own YouTube channel and just cold call all day. You should just video all that shit. Get your stream.
Yeah, just do a radio voice.
That's it. Like, hey, it's got a mute button. Check it out. You're sitting there and they're about to give an address. Goes away and then it comes back just like that. See, you didn't know what it said. Cut it off. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I feel like I want a whole bunch of people to jump on here. We got one cat watching right now. I'm trying to get this thing shared out.
Good.
I'm gonna go post it all over Facebook, all over Facebook, and let them know. This is one of the most interesting deals I've ever heard of in my life. I feel like I've tried some pretty big deals. This took a lot. This took a lot to make happen. I can't even imagine all the steps you went through. So we were kind of talking off camera about it a little bit. This deal just kind of, I don't know, like kind of explain the thought process of going into something like this. Because if I'm driving down the road and I see a commercial real estate sign, it's never going to cross my mind as a wholesaler, because you said you've been doing this since April, right? It's never going to cross my mind.
Yeah, about April, yeah.
To call them and be like, hey, bro, how much y'all want for this bank? It's just not in the wheelhouse. You know what I mean? It's like what could it be? What could it possibly be within you that made you decide to ask that question?
Man, I'll tell you what. On my side, it started as curiosity, because that deal had started prior to even really getting into real estate. It had been for sale for a couple of years. I had seen the sign. I was like, man, I just wonder how much is this damn thing, And then I sent in the information. They gave me a number, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot more than I got. So it was, and by just blessings, I was fortunate enough to, in that time frame, start getting into this, watching this podcast and listening to this YouTube channel and kind of studying that wholesaling bit. And when that opportunity popped back up, they actually reached back out to me and said, hey, you had expressed interest in this. We're lowering the price. I was like, oh, okay. So I pulled the information up and went to Land Glide and some other things, find out who owns it. So yeah, if these, and I used their name, the actual owner's name. So, well, I know it's owned by this bank, and I want to make sure that we get if they really want to sell it. I'm a buyer, but it needs to make sense for me. What are they trying to do? And well, let me get back with you. Okay, so she gave me that new price that they had listed for, and then she cashed for a while.
Look, you're being ambiguous right now. You're being ambiguous. The original price that they gave me was $1.7 million. We're not talking about. We're not.
Yeah, that's it.
So one, you're out of Corpus Christi. We didn't properly introduce you. This is Richard. He's out of Corpus Christi, lives all over the place, but brand new to wholesaling, has just started watching podcasts, sees a bank that he must have drove by 100 times to know that it had been on the market for a couple of years, and out of curiosity wanted to know what they wanted for it before he ever got into real estate. Now, we'll get back to this because this matters. This is important, okay? The fortune is in the follow-up. 110% the fortune is in the follow-up, because if that agent doesn't follow up with you, what happens?
Yeah, it would have been a dead deal.
It would have been a dead deal. So now we got somebody at 1.7 million, and you're being ambiguous. What did you say the number had to be for you to be a buyer? Because this is savage, and this is takes me back to my beginning when I didn't know what I was doing and I was just throwing numbers because fuck it. If they'll go there, I can make money. So what was your offer whenever they said that?
Well, at that time she was at 1.7. I just told them thanks, and then they had dropped it down to I believe it was 1.5, 1.4, 1.5. I don't remember. I just said, look, on the tax record it has it at 1.2. That's what the tax record said. For it to make sense for me, it would have to be a pretty strong deal from there. I mean, I'm pretty confident that I could buy, and I'll do a cash for you, so I can get that 30-day closing. But I need to be at about 600. And she's like, "Well, that's not going to happen. But I'll let you know." Anyway, I was just sticking to a script.
Back up. Because that's just fucking hilarious to me. Did you have 600 in the bank? Do you know anybody with 600 at that point? Or is that just some shit you're throwing to the wall to see if you'll stick?
Well, I was sticking to a script. And to go to your point about follow-up, I mean, in sales training, I was sticking to a script because I had seen proof through many podcasts and many things that the script works. So I'm like, well, I'll stick to the game plan. Working for a dealership, I actually had a game plan as to how I was going to go with it. I was going to try to actually sell it to my boss, the person who owned the dealership I worked for, as a value deal, saying, "Look, I just bought this property at half price. You in?" Figure, he's got a few $1 million and owns lots of real estate in the area. I got a fair shot, So I had a little bit of confidence that I had an end game if they did just say yes, because then I probably would have been shocked at that time because I was like, well, what the fuck do I do now?
We're going to back up because we're getting more viewers on. We're getting more viewers on. They're
no problem.
Coming out of their comas. They're seeing what's up. If y'all are out there, share this.
They're seeing it out there?
Yeah. Put this out there in your favorite fake book groups because we're talking with Richard Shelton. Richard, before he got into real estate, before he knew what wholesaling was, drove by a bank, called him out of curiosity, see what it was listed for because it had been listed for a while, and they said 1.7. A while later, after he watched a couple of podcasts, didn't really know, hadn't done no deals yet, correct? Or still hadn't done one at that moment in time?
At that time, actually, I had sold when they had called back, I'd actually done a couple small deals.
So
10. I did one for 5, one for 10.
Yeah, a couple of small deals when the bank called back. When the real estate agent for the bank called back, they were at 1.7. She's called them back to let them know they did a price reduction to 1.5. And Richard says for it to be a deal, he's got to be at 600 on a script that he saw somewhere on the internet. Lord, I hope it's mine. Like, I hope that was my script. Like, I don't think it was because I'm always the 50 guy. So you'd have been at 750 had you followed my script. But
I was at 50 because the price for the
tax value. The tax
value was 1.2, so I went with 50% of that.
Awesome.
So I figured if I could be at 50% of that and 20% for rehab, worst case scenario, I'd just be a rich flipper. It was. I'm like, well, 30% of $1 million. Well, I can live off that for a couple of weeks.
True. So, what'd you do then? Like, you made that offer. First off, let's back up. What does the bank look like? I mean, you showed me some pictures of it, but just tell the people what did it look like to you? Because you went inside of it at some point during there.
Yeah, it looked like a hacienda. it was, to me, and this is where it ended up going, is I was looking at, if I was going to keep it myself, because that's how I try to envision it, I was going to make it a restaurant and an event center, which is what's happening. So it's it's brown hacienda style, Mexican style property, real pretty. But it'd been there for a while, and it was in an area of town that's just short of one rich neighborhood and just above a poor one. So but in Corpus, you have a huge growth that's coming on board. So so I felt like it would be a good deal if I could lock it down for somebody. In the long run, it would be a good deal for them, and it will be. So anyhow, that's where we were. So we're trying to put this thing together, trying to figure out what it is. She's basically like, whoa. That wasn't what I was expecting. So she kicks me off the phone very politely, and
still have your proof of funds though.
Yeah, well, that actually isn't too difficult, but we'll worry about that in a separate podcast. Just $25. Just you can come on my how to get that proof of funds for $25 podcast. But yeah, we'll that's really not too terrible hard. But I mean it's. Anyhow, I put the deal together. So then I kind of forgot about it and started doing more of the wholesale things. I was watching this, I'm watching you, I'm watching Max, I'm watching Kong, I'm watching all these people, And then in my industry, in the automotive world, I've been a student all the time. So I'm trying to learn constantly. I manage a lot of groups, manage a lot of employees over the years, done a lot of training seminars, but I always want to learn. So I'm always constantly trying to learn how to improve. So I'm watching everybody, and taking what works in my personality and then adapting it to my specific personality and then trying to put it into action to see how it plays out. And in that process, I was really fortunate that this deal started towards the beginning before that happened, so I could evolve my technique as the deal's going through. And so I was really actually blessed that it played out like it did. Anyhow, they had kind of kicked me to the curb. I'd send a text, hey, what's going on with this? No response. Send another text, no response. Well, then all of a sudden, I get this maybe 2 months later. Hey, I was asked by the owners to reach out to anybody who had shown interest in this property, anybody above 700,000. And I said, well, I wasn't above 700,000, but I'm happy to take a look at it. And so this is the first time that I got a chance to walk inside the bank, and I figured, worst case scenario, I get to go take a look at a cool ass bank. It was, so I was like, all right. So I go and take a look at it. I'm like, man, it's pretty awesome. So try to put the deal together. Well, then
the vault was there.
Yeah, vault was there. The turn, all the cool stuff. It was open, so you didn't have to crank it. But yeah, all the pieces were there. It's pretty cool.
So take deposit boxes, the whole 9 yards. Everything's still in
there. All the furniture was still there. Actually, well, not all of it. All the office furniture was. Center furniture was not. The common area furniture was not. And the bathrooms were fantastic. Like if I had the money, that would be my house right now. With my own, yeah, it was awesome, man. It'd be like, the Addams Family house or something. I don't know. You get my own vault, get my own gold, whatever. But anyhow, trying to put the deal together. We're talking. I'm telling her a number I need to be at, and she told me where I wanted to be. I said, well, I wanted to be at 6, but I lost that buyer. And I had somebody who's going to partner up with me, but that's the words I said. I lost that buyer, and that was going to partner up with me, and we were good at 6, but you didn't respond. So, I mean, I'll have to see what I can do, and kind of trying to put it back, on making them be more aggressive for the deal. And then they're like, okay, well, see what you can do, and let's put, just follow up with me and let me know. I said, okay. So I backed off, took all my pictures, and I started trying to get other people to say, hey, man, can you help me with this? Do you have any ideas what to do with this thing? That they told me they were good at this number, and, because I knew where she wanted to be. And anyway, and then in that interim, I found out that they had actually contracted to somebody else or had a contract pending with somebody else and that deal fell through for whatever reason she wouldn't tell me. And then that was what gave me the leverage to lock the deal down. So when that deal fell through, she said, well, how long do you need? I said, well, I need a 30-day feasibility and then 60 days total to close. She said, I'm not doing that. That's what the last person wanted, and they wanted, they couldn't deliver. And I said, okay. I said, okay, well, let's see what we can do. So I told her I'd call her in the morning. And so I called her in the morning and said, look, I can be at 600. I can get you done in 30 days. I'm going to need 2 weeks feasibility. Just be like a normal deal. She goes, let me make a phone call. So she calls, puts me off for 2 more days. Doesn't respond, doesn't call back. I said, okay. Then she calls, okay. They want 7. I said, no, I'm not doing it. I just can't make it work. I don't have the funds that I had access to. I can only do the 6. Okay, so she puts me on hold again. I said, okay, or not hold, but puts me off again. I said, all right. Finally, when we finally got it done, she calls back and says, look, we need to be at, I don't remember what number, 690. I said, look, I'll help you out a little bit. You came down a little bit. I'll come up a little bit. I'll do 650, but that's all I got, and okay. So she put me on hold again. 2 days go by, or a day goes by. I said, okay. She calls back and said, all right, we're good to go. And then I was like, now what the fuck do I do? It was,
Hey, you're a GC guy. You're a GC guy. Commit first, figure the rest out later.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So I said, all right. So anyway,
now you're at 650, 30-day feasibility, 60-day close.
No, 2 weeks feasibility, 30-day close.
Damn.
Yeah.
What kind of money did you put up?
Oh man, it was tough. It was a whole $1,000.
You locked up a 650 deal for 1,000 earnest?
Yeah, I mean I printed out the thing is that for me, I mean I don't know why I liked it so much, but she didn't even print. Huh?
She didn't what?
She didn't even print the contract. I printed it. So I put the contract together, sent it over, looked at it. Okay, yeah, that'll work. And then that's what I put is $1,000 because that was actually what's already in there pre-filled anyway. And so it was in that particular contract. And then anyway, so I had sent it off. Okay, great, boom, 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 done. So that was it. Anyway, so then I called my boss. He said, nah, I got this, that, and the other, but hit me up in a couple months. I'm like, well, I ain't got time for that. So I called some other banks and that I have relationships with. No. But hey, call this guy. He was looking for a place. He's from San Antonio, has some restaurants in Austin, San Antonio. He might be interested. He was looking for property. I said, okay. So I called this guy and talked with him, and he goes, well, it's not actually my company. It's my brothers and my family's. So let me have them call. I said, okay. So then they finally called and put the deal together, and I told them I wanted a mill, and they said no. It was, and I said, well, look, it's worth a mill too. I can get you a good deal on it for a mill. And they're like, I said, look, it was on the market for 1.7 and 1.5, and I sent them a copy of the listing, and they had they're like, no, that's just too much for us. And I said, well, you figure out where you need to be, and I need to do something on this deal. So you let me know. I don't have a lot of time. And I was just pretty transparent. I don't have a lot of time on it, but I can help you out. Y'all let me know where you need to be. Anyway, so when it was all said and done, we finally agreed to 7. And then I was able to pick up that $50,000 difference.
2,000 feasibility or 2 week feasibility, $1,000 earnest money on the line. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like you can lose a lot, but the big deal about it, at least from my side of things, is now you've got this buyer that's on the hook for 700. Was it a straight up assignment?
Yeah.
Did you sign it so they knew you made 50 on the deal?
Yeah, I told them. Yeah, I told them, look, I bought this to turn it into this project, and then I just made up the project, and it was, going through, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. However, the funding backed out on me, but I have to finish up on this deal. This is the time frame, and I just told them, or I lose my earnest money on this deal. And as if I do, I do. It's not that big a deal. I was pretty straight up, kind of. And then I said, but I can assign it to you. It's a good deal for you. I need to be here. And then, he came to that number. I said, let me make a phone call, see if I can make it work. And then which obviously I could. And then, said, okay, I want to put it together like this, and this is what I'm going to pick up. And we're like, okay, yeah, whatever. That's, we're good. And then they were, okay, thank you. And then, that was it. And I mean, no problems. The money was there, escrowed in.
Closed on time.
Actually, one day early.
That's amazing. All because,
and I told it and I think that really comes down to transparency on a separate topic. Is I was in that particular case, I said, look, I'm under a time crunch, because some people try to hide their deadlines when they're negotiating. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you got to realize it cuts both ways. If it's a good deal for them and it's a good deal for you, it doesn't really make any difference. If they know they're going to lose the deal 100%, they might be willing to move up the time frame.
Well,
but anyway, this is separate.
I agree with that. But if I'm in the other position negotiating against you, right? And I don't think you have the strength to close, I might not want to pay the 50, and I might wait till the last minute and then take you to zero. You know what I mean? But I also don't know what you got out of it, like what kind of non-refundable you get from them at that point to make sure they're serious. And the way that I kind of play that out is when I'm doing that, I'm always keep them like, hey, it's me and you against my partner, right? Because it's like, hey, no, I know you're a buyer, but here's the deal: we got somebody else, and they've already offered my partner some non-refundable cash, and but I told him I was talking to you first, and so I got to honor my word to you, but you're gonna have to put something. You got to go hard with me in some way. You know what I mean? So he knows. Yeah. Because if he don't know, he's gonna take that money over there, and it kind of keeps me in the, whether it's a seller or a buyer, pitted against a poor old partner who's to blame for everything. You know what I mean? And I don't know, what negotiating tactic is that, Richard? Is that in a book somewhere, or can we call that the Corey?
Yeah, we can call it the Corey. Yeah, that's it's the Corey close, the CC.
The CC, the Corey close.
But I mean, hey. Yeah, I like it, man. Brand it, stamp it, Yeah.
Bam. Put it in a book, GC, the CC. Here it is. Get you some.
CC. Got the Corey close. I mean, you got to, you always have it. And that's a similar tactic in the in automotive. I would do what I could for you, but my manager, he's got to be here. I mean, that's the general thing, to defer that liability of negative and and create what I call synthesized empathy, which is the illusion that you give a fuck. It's
I mean, for me, it started out. I mean, it really was. You know what I mean? Like, my partner was in Houston. He couldn't look at it, and he was more conservative than I was. So
they got the money.
I came across it honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just once I realized it works, I'm like, this is going in.
That's
and that's just it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes on just a personality default, I'm a little bit too transparent, which sometimes will burn me every once in a while. It's but at the same time, I've also won a lot of opportunities in life and been able to make bigger grosses on deals because of that fact. Because they can sense the BS, so they're like, I trust the guy, so okay, well, let's keep talking, and we'll figure out what the real issue is. It's be a little less smoke and mirrors and a little more transparency sometimes works for me. Although I have definitely gotten burned.
The agent on that deal, this is the best part for me. This is the absolute best part.
Well, you're reading my notes.
Made $19,500. So you hit a $50,000 lick, and she probably didn't even know a contract was assignable. You know what I mean?
Well, what I told her was, I said, hey, I'm having my partner that I told you, I got him back on the line, so his portion of that is $50,000. And she said, okay. And then I said, so here's how we're going to do this deal, and boom, 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 to get this restaurant up. And okay, and that was that. That was and she was like, okay. And I also don't think she cared, because she had that property. It had been from another brokerage off to hers for a while, and then it had failed to deliver at that time for a long time.
Yeah, 19,000 is way better than no thousand. So One,
Yeah.
one thing, when you're doing that, when it all goes through and closes, were you doing that in your personal name or were you doing that in an LLC? Because you started this process before you understood everything that goes into wholesaling.
Yeah. Not too intelligently because I wanted to, make it seem fluid. I did that and a couple other deals in my own name, which may create
No,
some challenges.
no, I don't. I don't know. Whether you're doing them in your personal
Yeah.
name or not. I've signed stuff in my personal name several times and done a $0 assignment to the LLC that we're going to purchase it in.
Yeah.
And we do that now. I mean, right now, hell, today we're sending assignments between each other for $0 to get it into the entity that we wanted it to be in at the purchase. And then when we refile, we put it into a different entity at that closing, out of
The cash out.
our acquisition LLC into our holding LLC. And we're not doing that for asset protection or anything else. We're doing that because it cleans up the books. It keeps your borrowing LLC.
Yeah.
If you got something that you're going to buy and resell, right? Then you're buying it to resell it. You're buying it to get rid of it. Well, let's say it doesn't sell. What are you going to do with it? You got to rent that motherfucker out.
Yeah.
So when you rent it out, now you've got it collecting rent in a buying and selling LLC, and we start the refile process and then deed it over into the holding LLC to keep those separate from us, because the buy and resell LLC could be holding $1.5 million worth of dead inventory at any given moment, and it can't borrow no fucking money. It's upside down. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things where it from all of the lessons that we're learning. I think that's one of the reasons why you signed up for Vegas. We were talking about some of these things, and my partner, we've learned all this shit the hard way. You can get a book, understand why you're doing it. If you think it's asset protection, it's like, I don't know what asset protection comes from insurance.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, a single member LLC is not really super asset protective, but it's
it doesn't protect you from anything. I mean,
but that's the illusion.
That's the illusion.
Yeah.
But
I use
go ahead.
I was going to say, like for me, I do my acquisitions under one LLC, but that LLC owns nothing. That's the one that takes the heat. If somebody calls because too many RVMs hit and they want to sue, they can have 100% of zero. So it's so all that comes in there. Then all those deals then get assigned into either I started doing some flips, so it'll go there, or it'll go to whoever I'm going to assign it to. So I'll double assign it, which is I'll send it back to this group and then reassign it to somebody else, and then it kind of spreads out that liability. But that's just new stuff that's created. 45 days, like recent. It's to break out that liability and help mitigate those challenges down the line that may pop up.
Well, and that's the thing. Like some of these things that I see people talk about, I'm like, I don't think y'all have ever tested it. But that's life. You know what I mean? A good E&O policy, a good air and emissions policy goes a long ways for that protection that you're looking for in any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Whether it's one of those deals that goes on in marketing or whatever. So, Richard, what else you got going on? What you got on your board right now? You came to our Corpus Mastermind, set 12 appointments. I don't know if that's a correct number. I just know that's the number I'm going with, because you had 6. One guy had 6 deals. Another girl had
six with one guy, which that particular guy that had to pull those 6 off because he is interested in selling them owner finance at above retail because he wants all his money. He's just not, and that's okay. I kind of got that vibe when I finally met with him, but I did meet with him and talk with him. However, he is a potential buyer.
He is a buyer, but beside that, what interest rate? What interest rate's he charging?
12% on him. He
come off that 12.
Yeah, he might. I didn't really push too hard because the amount of money.
I'm great with those prices. Give me 3% interest.
Yeah. When I did I was kind of feeling them out a little bit. I didn't go with the rate. I was trying to adjust the term. I was like, hey, I'm good with that number. you're wanting to do 15 years. I would need to be, for those numbers to make sense for me. I know it's a little bit longer, but I need to do 40. And after you, I said, but because to me that'll cash flow out and I can make it work, but you're going to make your money, And I was just trying really that. I probably could have played a little bit better. But I let my ego get involved, which is not normal, but it did happen in this particular deal because I felt like it was just fucking with me. So it was.
You feel like when it becomes practice, then it's just practice. You know what I mean? Now it's
and that was kind of what it is.
I don't want to buy this, but I want to see where I can take it because
that's important.
I mean, iron sharpens.
I do what?
Iron sharpens iron. So when you're up against somebody like
that,
if I can get him to move on anything, I see where I can get him to go.
You're feeling good, right?
Yeah.
But from the mastermind I did with you, I got a lady's actually flying in from LA to show me which we drove by. We did the
and that's why
we drove by that one. So she's going to come by. Do what?
That's why I came up with the number 12 because 6 and those 6, but then you had a couple more in the tertiary markets too. Yeah,
so I got those. I got her. She's coming in to town middle of this month, and then we're going to look at that one, and then she has another property in LA. I mean, not in LA, in California, that she wants to talk about too. But when she gets here, I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll talk about whatever you got. So we'll see. So I think I'll put her deal down. She's already come up. She was real firm at a certain number and told me there was a definite no number, and then has already said, well, we'll talk about it when I get here. So I feel like there's still room from the already no number. So we should be able to get that deal. I got 2 deals out in Robstown that I'm trying to figure out what to do. I think the best bet for those is just for me to buy them and rent them out myself. I think those are probably keepers for me versus wholesaling them out. Because I just don't think. Do what?
The Good Doctor.
Yeah. Oh, the doctor. Yeah, Dr. Eagle.
No,
Eagle Center.
We're on the internet.
Yeah, Dr. E. But anyway, he's that deal's actually working too. So he's coming in from Houston to come by, and he's looking to sell his house too. So that's going to be probably a fix and flip. So he wanted to be. He said his property is worth 140. He put on the message on your message. You do it at 100.
I know.
He's actually.
It seemed like a deal right then.
Yeah, it's a good deal. And then we did the numbers on it.
It was looking
the Compton area about 170. The only challenge with that area is it has huge amount of new construction. Almost the entire area is new construction, but I don't think it really. I think if the numbers are right, we're fine.
The only thing
he hasn't been in that property. Do what?
The only thing that bothered me about that one was the days on market. Days on market.
Yeah, the days on market are long.
Sold were over 100 days.
Yeah, and that's a little negative. So the days on market are a little bit long, but I mean, the benefit with that, I mean, if you can handle that 90 days, and now you go FHA, you got.
But me and you talked about it. I mean, when you're playing with your own money, like you are, you've got the cash to deploy. It's better sitting there than it is sitting in a bank.
Yeah,
holding costs.
It's
not paying interest.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, that deal will be just fine. And even though I don't love sitting on it that long, his valuation, his anchor number was quite a bit lower than the average market. So the ARV in that area is considerably higher. So it makes it a little bit easier. So you have that built-in room. And he's willing to come off that other number too. He just, said, he talked. He wanted to do a lot of vetting to make sure I wasn't full of crap, So it was, and once that part's done, we should be good to go. So he's coming in town from Houston too, so that deal should go down. Actually, 100%. I'm very confident that deal will go. So those are for just the mastermind, and then after I left the mastermind,
there's one more. There's one more.
You kept all the notes?
No, I don't have the notes. I'm just sitting here. I just remember the 26.
26. You remember that $40,000 house?
I do. The 1998 deed of trust. I do. What about it?
Yeah, well, not that particular. Yeah, no. This is when we were driving for dollars and we looked at that sixplex and I saw that sign.
Yes, I do. I took a sign. I put it on
Instagram. Yeah, that lady. I'm not sure I'll be able to lock her down or not, but we're talking, so we'll see how that deal goes. They wanted 40 grand for that house in the lot. The house is complete trash, but it's I made them an offer. They laughed. And then they made a counter offer, and then I laughed. And but I don't have all the decision makers. So what I told them, I said, hey, on your last offer, I think I can make that work. But let's get all the parties involved and set a time when I can talk to everybody, and we'll see if we can put this deal together. Because right now I'm competing against myself unless I have the decision makers, and I don't have control over that. So I changed instead of trying to negotiate, I'm just trying to get all 4 parties on that in one place, so I can, even if it's a conference, and see if I can get that deal together. That would be another one I would just keep in rent. But it's I got to get all the people in there, and there's a lot of pieces in that puzzle. It was it's inherited, and this person passed away, and then they got power of attorney because this one's handicapped. There's just a lot of things. So let's get all the people involved and let's figure this thing out. So.
What about 26 units?
Yeah, well, that's a separate deal. Okay. The 26 units. Now, tell me this is not convoluted. I don't know if I updated you on this one.
Nah.
The first person I wholesaled a property to in Corpus, he and I became we became friends and have done a handful of deals together since then. Well, he happens to be very good friends with the owner of that 26 unit property and had already talked to me about that deal. Well, we go to your mastermind and another lady gets the deal. Okay. And they're kind of going back and forth. So what I end up doing on that one, and that deal is actually, we're good to go on that deal. I need to find either partner up and buy it, which is a possibility, or I'm trying to wholesale it because she wants money. But it ended up going from a her deal to a JV deal with her and me, and then I got him involved. So I got one guy going to close the seller, and then I'll hunt down the buyer, and then she wins, so she's going to get it. So that was weird because he had stopped talking with her and wasn't really being 100% transparent, and so I started digging into it a little bit more. And then found out that he was talking to the other guy, and he and I just coincidentally happen to be pretty good friends that have done some business together. And so really, it couldn't have probably played out better. And that's why I think having good networks and being transparent is important, because had there been shadiness before, nothing would have happened. Everybody would have been fighting. But now we go from a deal that sounded like a great deal. Some other person, not related to either one of those people, jumped in and jumped out. They made an offer and then flew away. I don't know who that was. But that deal is good to go. We have an inspector coming on Wednesday to do it. Yeah, so he's coming through to do a full inspection on it, and then that person is giving that information to who should be the end buyer, and we should be able to get that deal done. So
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so as long as what we think is wrong with it, or even if it's not, whatever we find out there in that inspection, we'll address, and then make sure that everybody's happy. But we're able to put that deal together, even though it became a little bit more pieces. It's pretty important to know that part of a watermelon is better than all of a grape. So it worked well to get everybody on board. So the inspectors are coming out to do that. I'm not really opposed to keeping that property myself because the cash flow is pretty stupid.
I didn't see he said he was paying $1,000 a month for electric, and I don't see that.
No, that cannot be accurate. I know because I have done other deals on bigger properties.
But that was the only part of that I didn't believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I know he's getting the 700 rents on those 24 units and 600 on the others. How consistently he's getting them is a variable. So it's I know some of them are week to week, some of them are monthly. He has 10 people that are 100. Do what?
And it's all bills paid.
It is all bills paid, and $1,000 is definitely not accurate. There's no way that you can pay 26 units at $1,000 for electric. It's just not possible in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, maybe if you have solar panels on or something, but that's certainly not the case. That would be the nicest roof that place has. But it's either way, that deal's a deal. So that deal should. I have an inspector coming Wednesday to do their part that are working with the end buyer. So and us too. I've done deals with him before also. So and the end buyer, one of the end buyer, we have two people interested. I have sold them properties already and closed on those. I sold them a fourplex not even 30 days ago. So so we got a good relationship there, trust built there. It just is a big project and a lot of dollar amounts, so they want to make sure that they know what they're getting themselves into, and so we should be able to assign that one and do pretty well, and make them happy, make everybody else happy.
Well, yeah, I asked you because because you were a savage on the phone, so I wanted to know. You know what I mean? I mean, as somebody that's been in sales, you've been around a lot of marketing. So the information that we give at the Marketing Mastermind, I kind of want to know how you valued it, because this is what we use and it works. But you've seen a lot more of it than we have in 20 years in car sales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've got 100 times more. I asked you, I said, what do you think of this mastermind? You're like, dude, I paid $100, got like 12 deals. Like, what do you think I'd think about it?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's I mean, I always try to stay humble, but it's just not possible on something like this. But it's $100 or $150. I mean, well, really take the money aside. If you're somebody who wants to work, if you're willing to put forth the effort, it doesn't matter if you paid $100, $5 grand, 10 grand, because you'll make the money. When all these deals go down, and like I told you, I said I'm very confident that 3 of these will be a done deal. One of them's already done. I'm about to buy 2 of them. I still might be able to work something out with that crazy guy. At some point, or sell him something, because if he's willing to overpay, on one side, or want all the money on one, he might pay a little extra because it fits his selling criteria. He's able to get people to close on those numbers, so maybe he can be a little higher. We'll see. So there's an opportunity there. But regardless of the dollar amount you spend on it, I mean, the dollar amount is really just to weed out the people who completely won't try. It's spend the money, because you're going to have the opportunities. Even after the class had ended, which I was about to go into earlier, I was still getting phone calls. So I mean, since then, I got an opportunity on the island for a 6-plex and a duplex, which we didn't talk about. And this was, oh man, 3 or 4 days later, 4 or 5 days later. I don't know how many days.
The call flow like it is.
Yeah. You left it alone, so it picked it up, and that I don't know what the other people. There's 3 of us that were taking phone calls, so I'm assuming they probably got 1 or 2 phone calls too. And what I liked about yours versus what I use for RVMs is that yours makes you press 1, so I know it came from your class. Like it doesn't. Mine gives me a prompt. Hey, this is on such and such message. So I'm okay, cool. So I know specifically where it came from, your or mine. But yeah, so I got a deal on a 6-plex and a duplex on the island. So we'll see how those go. Those look like good Airbnb deals. So if they'll make sense on a rental portfolio, then they'll make even more money on an Airbnb, and we'll rock and roll regardless of the law changes. And then
and the tax benefits on Airbnb, I mean, cost segregation. Airbnb, you've got all the personal property in there, all your furniture, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You get a bunch of pre-tax, and you get to rapidly depreciate it. Or I guess you could take it all 179. I don't really know. Talk to your CPA. But one thing I do like about those properties that are furnished is it makes your recliner all pre-tax. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you're getting a pre-tax recliner, I mean, it's a good day.
Yeah. And it's always nice to spend your money, you spend the money first, get taxed later. So, yeah, it's, so there's a lot of benefits on it. And realistically, I mean, I'm talking about, real estate, these were opportunities that while I was making a pretty substantial living anyway, these are all new bonuses that have came on board and allowed me to get to different levels than I was able to do what I was doing before. It's so there's a lot of opportunities. You just have to go out there and try. I'm nothing super special. I mean, I do fairly well on the phones because I've talked on the phones for a long time, but you just have to try. And I promise you this, you're not going to get better if you don't do it.
That's true. How many conversations have you had and you were like, what, in life? I was like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, so how many times have you talked on the phone? A ton. But the first time it started, it was I was hi, how y'all? My name is Click. Okay. It was, and so. And it's okay because a lot of people, they'll tell you just fail forward. I wish somebody would have told me that 20 years ago. I would have been a little further along.
See, we in your marketing, we didn't get to do the divorce list. And
yeah, so I would have fun with that. I would do well with it.
I'm not dropping the message we have been dropping, which I'm going to change it up.
I love that one now.
Script.
Hey, I hear you going through some shit.
It has caused some problems, but there was an attorney in the last in the College Station one, and he answered that line, and I swear to God, he was like, you just watch somebody with a little bit different style, and he's coming to the Mastermind, the Vegas Mastermind too. So, cool. I'm glad we're gonna have an attorney with us. You know what I mean? Like it's like for a full year with an attorney that is a savage like you and me. This dude got on the phone, and he would turn it on them like quick, like you know what I mean. Like they would be mad or sad or happy or whatever, and he would turn it on them quick and get them going in the direction they needed to go. And he's pitching sub 2 and all this other stuff, But you just get to see a different style. Yeah, the attorney style of cold calls and how, and you're just kind of watching like, oh man, I need that in my game. Like, you know what I mean? Like I need that attorney, like bluntness that he just smacked with, there was no beating around the bush, and it wasn't rude or mean, you know what I mean? And I can't really explain it better than that, but everybody else is getting their ass handed to them on that divorce list, and he's setting appointment after appointment after appointment.
Yeah, because he's used to talking with people that are in those challenge situations, and a lot of people, what you don't realize when you're on the phone, for me, it's a show. So I go into my little box. So however I'm talking now is how I'm normally just speak to somebody. But when I'm on the phone, is hey, how you guys doing? It's just the pitch changes immediately, and the inflections change. And so when you're talking with somebody, you just have to be respectful and consistent and have a game plan of what you're going to say and be flexible enough to maneuver, because people just get anxious about talking to people, but they're just humans on the other line. So and you have to be able to shape that conversation in a way that's going to get the results that you need and get to the point, but while you're still letting them do what they need to do to come to terms with this conversation happening, and you'll do well. But again, you have to try. I mean, you send out 1,000 RVM or make 1,000 cold calls. Even if you botch 200 of them, you still have 800 more to go. So, and you're probably not as bad as you think you are. And every time you do it, you get a little bit better. So
Hall of Famers in baseball are only 30% of the time.
Yeah. There's nobody batting 1,000 anywhere. You just got to go out there and try, and then you get better. You'll have more fun with it. You make more phone calls, and then once you get a couple going, then the confidence builds up. And a small little thing, though, just to throw it out there, when you're on the phone, put a mirror next to you and smile. It seems silly, but they can hear it on the other line. And it'll change, and they get excited. So if you look excited when you look at yourself in the mirror, then they feel they can hear it through the phone, and they're going to get excited. And if they're excited, you're excited, the tensions drop. And you can lower down that. It's just the science of humans. If you can lower down their stress hormones and increase their happy hormones, then your job becomes a lot easier.
I love it. Like I love it. Which I do because I cold call so much.
Yeah.
With this camera in my fucking face, looking at my face.
Yeah.
Hey,
And when you see, and what happens when you see yourself getting depressed because you've had 8 or 9 people tell you to F off in a row, you kind of like, well, no. And then you see, you're like, oh, hey, okay, because that person you're talking to didn't do the stuff the last 8 people did to you. Those 8 people did, but they're gone. That next one might be your $10,000 deal, your $20,000 deal, your $50,000 bank, your $150,000 apartment complex. I heard somebody did. It's I'm not sure who that was. I think it's CC. So it was, it was so each conversation is a brand new relationship. So just go at it brand new. They're not responsible for anything that happened to you before, and they're not going to be responsible for the deals after. So just put the deals together and treat them good, and you'll get what you get. But get after them.
Dude, I can't tell you how delightful it is to get to share some time with you and Tyler, the attorney. And the rest of the guys that have come out to the mastermind. I think it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to learn with y'all. I can't wait to.
We're trying to learn from you.
Well, I mean, look, I can help you with the numbers and all that kind of stuff, but believe me, it's this as well as I do. Anything's repetition. You know what I mean? Like right now, we're going over a guy's numbers on some of the rentals he's going to pull some equity out of, and try to help him structure that the best. And the big thing is he's been buying his rental portfolio off of MLS, and so he's got a direction he wants to go. But getting in a room with a guy like you is a savage, and now you can do this probably remotely right now. You don't know it yet, but you can. So he's got a farm area that he wants to buy out of. You can dish him equity. And he'll be a buyer every time because he has the credit in the books to do it, and he wants to buy. He's got a modest goal of 50 rentals. You know what I mean? And I think we're going to blow that out in 2020. And
is he going to the mastermind too?
Do what?
Is he going to the mastermind?
He is. So the opportunities for all of us are going to be there in the room because like I told you, people are going to find their future business partners. They're going to find their wholesalers that they need to be able to feed them deals. Every rhyme and has a reason. You know what I mean? Some guys are really strong at certain things like you are, and other people, they probably won't never be great on the phone. And that's
that's okay though.
They won't have to be. They won't have to be Richard in their back pocket. Richard, get on the phone with these people. I got them here. I need them here. I'll pay you this.
Yeah, today, talking about today, we had a deal that I'm working that, the guy wanted to be at, well, really, he was a price per square foot people, which really tells me that he's been somewhat educated. He's talked to somebody already, or to some degree, and he wanted to be at 100. Then, we kind of talked. He wanted to be at 65. When it was all said and done, we settled at $47,953. So it, just by having those conversations and just talking to the guy, it's, so
just asking for it.
Do what?
Just asking for it.
Yeah, you had to ask for it. But this was an issue where somebody really couldn't communicate with him to close that thing and say, hey man, take a turn. Well, I moved him from here all the way, almost 50 grand of money, from where they had him. And it was, just by talking to the guy and working, but there's other areas where I'm not, the person to go to, so I have to find those other people, how to make these, some of these other things perform. I'm sure I can figure it out, but I haven't done it. So I don't know. When it comes to the flips and this, I bring somebody with me all the time. Because I've done some construction work, but we're talking 25 years ago, so, it's a long time ago. So, hey, what is it? Oh yeah, well, it has to meet this code. It has to meet that. And, do I really know what he's saying 100%? No.
That could be leverage.
Yeah. But I can help him to say, look, I'll bring this cost down and you help me not get in trouble. And then we make some money.
It's true. That's true. I take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
The person that knows the person that knows what a house needs is the code enforcement there in Corpus. I go buy those guys coffee. Because they're gonna, at the end of the day, there's going to be neighborhoods. I see it in communities where we work in all the time. There's communities where code is this. There's communities where code is this. It's just the difference in the level, because they know that they can't go into that neighborhood and hammer those homeowners, right, who can't afford to bring it to that standard that they want. So if I own a rent house in that neighborhood, they can't hammer me, be singling me out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They know that. So, but you get on the other side of town, you think you're good there, and you get on the other side of town and you realize, oh shit, they follow the rules over here.
Yeah.
And you can really get upside down. But I've got to run home. I know you've got your kids in the background. Richard, thank you.
Yes.
For the people that are watching. If you just jumped
Thank
on,
you.
go back to the beginning.
Thank you all.
It is unbelievable, this story. Richard, you did a hell of a job. Can't wait to February. We'll get to hang out in Vegas.
I just bought my tickets. Yeah.
I seen that, dude.
Yeah. So we're good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And for all you people who are on the fence about how, man, should I spend the money? Spend the damn money. If worst case scenario, if you'll send me a text, I'll help you close the deal while we're there. I'll make a couple phone calls with you.
Dude, that's awesome. I appreciate it. And here's something else. Look, I'm going to be in El Paso on Saturday, in Phoenix on Sunday doing these marketing masterminds. Nice. And everybody's like, why are you doing this? Because Grant fucking Cardone has still got some of my money in his bank account. I'm trying to get that money back. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Did you give it a 10 grand?
No. I don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about it on the internet. We'll talk about
it. Yeah. So are you trying? So you're going to get your pen though?
I'm going to get my pen.
Okay, good.
But yeah, there. The more I do these marketing masterminds, the more I learn about our own marketing. Just like I learned from you. We were talking about that offline. I mean, it's making me better. It's making everybody in the room better. And in the new person that's just getting in, it's today. One of the guys that came to College Station was running a deal on 5 houses for $275,000 that he got on a free Facebook Marketplace post. I mean, it's like, boom, makes a post at the beginning of class, something we didn't do in y'all's, but we do now. And by the end, he's already got an appointment on a house. And I don't know how his negotiation went. I'm going to text him here in a second, see how it went. But I mean, that stuff right there is what's amazing to me is we make you take action in the class. We can't make you. We can't. Yes, Spencer, I'm going to be in Arizona on the 12th. I can't make you do anything once we leave. You know what I mean? Like Richard, I can't make you do anything. But while we're there, we're gonna make you make the post, and at the end, we're gonna see how the post did. And we did some savage posting. We did some of our homeowners associations posts where we get the housewives really mad. And that's the stuff that I forgot to go over in y'all's.
That's okay.
No, dude. I think I'm gonna do little webinars over different segments that I forget and leave out because I want everybody to be able to come back to it. And everybody that's already gone to our marketing masterminds, if they want to jump in there, I can just give them a link and.
But I think that's the best part about masterminds is you get the evolution. Each time you go, you're adding more.
Well, it's just like for me, I'm out here doing these things, and we do so much every day. It's like if you try to box me in and say, "No, I want just this." I had a guy ask me about private money. Put me right on the spot. He's like, "Hey, I want to know how to get private money," and I've thought about how we got private money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been like, I know exactly how this happened, but I can't tell you how to do it in a month. You know what I mean? It's like if I've never asked for private money. I've never gone to somebody and been like, I've asked lenders to loan, but I've never gone to family members and friends and been like, hey, bro, what's your retirement account doing? I've never even made a post on the internet about it that I can remember. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, I mean, just the other day, I'm getting my oil changed, and a buddy of mine's like, hey, I want to do this. Where can you put the money? When can we meet up and talk about it? It's got like probably 100 to 150 that he wants to invest. And it's like, good problem to have, you know what I mean? But right now we're flush with cash. We have more money than we have deals or comfort level with doing deals, so we're still, in the phase of business where it's like, look, hiring and training is our number one focus right now. Getting a system in place, putting in the training videos, and all the things that we need to do to where our little company, our little property management company can do the damn thing. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. Deal acquisition and all that deal flow has kind of not been necessarily automated, but it's it runs itself. It's kind of its own thing. You know what I mean? And anyways, but I'm looking forward to showing y'all all of this, all of it, because hell, after the College Station meetup, I got to hang out with a savage guy that sold his IT company to Drayton McLean. You know McLean Stadium in Waco?
Yeah.
You know the Houston Astros?
Well, yeah, I heard about them. Yeah.
He sold them a couple of years ago. He sold an IT company to that guy. And getting in those rooms with those people, and he's coming to the Mastermind. So,
good.
I mean, we're going to have a savage group of people. So
it'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty awesome.
Spencer's going to be in Scottsdale for Steam Strange stuff. So, Richard, Spencer, I appreciate the comments. I don't know who SB Investment is, but I appreciate all y'all. Can you see the comments, Richard?
No, not on here.
Damn, they got you on the poor section. Here you go. I think he's talking about you right here. Look at you. Bam! You're straight up on the phone.
Oh, here we go. I got to click the live comments. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm not that smart.
It's all right. It's all right. I don't know how to get back to these comments once we get out of here. I don't know where to get to live comments, but I appreciate you, Richard, for coming on. That bank story is savage. I love it. I love the hustle. I love the balls it takes just to make it happen. And everybody else, I'll see y'all. I want to see y'all. Richard, any last words?
Oh, man, just get out there and do it. Don't be afraid. Just take a chance. Worst case scenario, you succeed and then have to figure out what to do with that.
That's really, really good advice. Later, Richard.
All right, man. You have a good day.